Hello, Kubrick Lover 1972. I'm here with a new special series of videos. This will be the first one. It's called Brian's Movies He's Watched This Week. It'll probably be every Saturday. So this is the first week. I'm going to try to do this weekly. So these will be all the movies I've seen this week. This week I'm going to do a little bit of a cheat. I'm trying to type them down in my iPhone, and you know, um, um, so I remember what I've watched, and I had typed some films in there that I had seen, but I didn't really. I forgot all about the date coming up. Um, so I think I So this will include more than 1 week, is what I'm saying. I started writing down some films during a week or so ago, and then I just didn't start that. I didn't start this series until today. So it will go back a week or so, and then we'll catch up to this week. So, anyways, I have four streaming services um, that on my Blu-ray player. Oh no, not two on my Blu-ray player. I'm sorry, and two I have on my computer, um, along with the two that I have on my Blu-ray player. So, you know. But anyways, I had this one of the streaming services that I subscribe to is called Mubi, MUBI, and they show independent movies, they show foreign films, they show classics, they show cult movies, or they show documentaries. Um, they show films from like countries, like Iran or Africa or um, Mongolia, Iran. If a few coming up right now, like ones from Ethiopia. I got that to watch at some point. That's called Lamb, but I haven't. I'll tell you about that when I get there, which will probably be next week or the week after, maybe. But I watched two Japanese films on there. Friday, May 25th, I watched a film called Still Walking, um, and it's basically a evocation. What I say of it's like a tribute or very similar to Ozu's films. It's about a son who's what does he do for a living? Is he an engineer? He's like a city planner or something, I think. And his father is a doctor, and his older son died, and his father had wanted him to continue in the steps of his profession, which was to be a doctor, and he didn't. And there's sort of the strife between them, and you also see the relationships between the other characters, like his wife, who is his second wife because his first wife died, and she has a son um, that comes along to this family get together, and of course that's his stepson, and you meet his sister there. I think their brother is there. So it was enjoyable. I probably like Ozu's films more. I would say I like Ozu's films more, but yeah, I'll leave it at that. I don't want to spoil anything, but um, I would say it's worth a watch if you like Japanese movies. If you like Ozu, I think you'll like it. But anyways, there was another film that same director made, and I don't remember his name. Um, Movie does things in categories. They did like a Jean-Luc Godard, Giga Vertov series of movies. They did well. Right now, they're doing some Cannes um, picks. Actually, the Cannes Film Festival picked for Movie. They do like like a director or an actor. Well, I think an actor. A few of a director's works or a period of time in film history. I don't know. They have various categories that they put. Oh, and also they have 30 films per day. They take one off each day that's been there the longest, and then they add another one each day. Anyways, Like Father, Like Son is the other Japanese film I saw. Um, this film, as I started watching it, I realized I had seen this film before, and I don't remember how I had seen the film before, but maybe I saw it on Mubi because I think I might have seen it on Mubi before. Maybe they were repeating it. But the plot of this movie goes: there's a father and mother. They're raising this son, and then they find out that their son was switched at birth from another mother, and so they've got to adapt to having a son from another family given to them, and then they have to return their son, who they thought was their son, to another family, and what happens there between how the father and mother believe a child should be raised, and the conflict between themselves as to how a son should be raised, along with the other family that is completely different from their family. Like the family we first meet, they're very, they're probably a little more wealthy than the other um, family, and the father of the wealthy family, he's very work oriented, and he doesn't really take breaks, and he doesn't really spend a lot of time with his son, and the other guy does, but he's more of a country bumpkin or whatever. But anyways, it works off of that, and that's a pretty good movie. Again, that movie was saying like that's another. I think they said that that's another film that this director was influenced by Ozu on. So I think I'd recommend Like Father, Like Son more than I'd recommend Still Walking. Even though Still Walking's okay, that's not too bad. But I think I'd recommend Like Father, Like Son a little more. So let's keep going. The next one is I work at a library and I saw this film and I immediately just picked it up because I like music. It's called Gimme Danger. It's about Iggy Pop and the Stooges, and it's directed by Jim Jarmusch. And there are no special features on the disc. I returned the disc already, so I can't show it to you. But if you want to know if you're a fan of Iggy Pop and the Stooges, this is a pretty good documentary to see. I don't really I really haven't listened to the Stooges, but I do like Lust for Life by Iggy Pop, and that's a really good album. And David Bowie's song "China Girl" probably my favorite David Bowie song, and "China Girl" was written by Iggy Pop. But anyways, it's interesting in other ways. How they became a band and how they practiced and how it sort of influenced punk rock. All these bands, how they were influenced by it, and not just the music, but like things like I believe Iggy Pop pioneered the stage dive. When rock singers jump into the audience, I think he was the first one to do that. So he talks about that. Anyways, let's get to the next one, so I can show you some discs on these. I had some films I was borrowing from friends of mine, and I felt I had to watch them. There was one I already watched. I haven't showed that. I watched it a few more weeks ago, so I won't be showing that one. That one was Sweet Smell of Success. That's in my car. I gotta give it back to a friend of mine. Anyways, this other friend of mine, he lended me a few DVDs. And the first one he lent is Lake Placid, which has Bill Pullman, Bridget Fonda, and Oliver Platt. Also has a performance. It also has Brendan Gleeson in it, and it also has Betty White in it. And it's written and produced by the guy who created The Practice and Ally McBeal. Um, it's sort of like a Jaws in Maine, you know, in this lake involving a crocodile. Is it a crocodile? Alligator or crocodile? It's okay. It's nothing. It's oh, I forgot to give these films ratings. This series of videos that I'm trying to start off, it's been influenced by another YouTuber named Robert Harrison. He shows movies he's watched every Friday, and I thought, why not do it myself? So, anyways, let me just go back a sec. Let me walk back a bit, and still walking out of I do my ratings out of 5 stars. So, a film that I rate at a 1 would be poor. A film that I rate at a 2 would be um, average. I don't know. Uh, Decent. Now 2 is still bad, but 1 is. How about no? 1 is awful. 2 is poor. 3 is good. 4 is excellent, and 5 is like in the high echelons of cinema. But anyway, still walking. I probably give that movie a 3. Like Father, Like Son, I'd probably give 3.5 stars. Gimme Danger, I would give um, maybe 3.5. Okay, so going back to Lake Placid here, it has a little bit of special features on it. Doesn't have much, and there's short special features. Um, just a brief, very few minutes worth of special features. It's kind of funny. It's kind of a funny movie. Um, I give this film probably 3 stars. Yeah, it's a good film, fun to watch, but nothing much more than that. Not a great film. Okay, so before I get to the other DVD that my friend let me borrow, here's I'm going to show you some films from my own collection. This was a Czech movie. I decided to watch this one at the time when I did because it was getting later at night and it wasn't as long. How long is this movie? It's 76 minutes. It's a Czech movie. It's called Valerie and Her Week of Wonders. It's Criterion. Um, this is a pretty interesting movie. Of course, Criterion usually provides you with very good special features, and I'd say this is no exception to that rule. This film doesn't really have a plot per se. I mean, you think it's one thing and it turns out to be another, and it doesn't follow the um, normal conventions of story. It's sort of a horror movie. It's maybe a romance movie, a surrealist movie. Um, like one of the things they didn't mention that I thought was quite obvious. Well, 2 things they didn't mention that I thought, why didn't they mention it? The father character of Valerie, he looks one of the ways he appears on the screen. He reminds me so much of Max Schreck from Nosferatu, and I can't believe they couldn't pick up on that. Second thing I couldn't understand was maybe it was more subtle, and I think it's the father that covers himself with the mask. If you look at the mask he covers himself with, you'd see that if you know about painting, there's a painter from the medieval period. His name was Hieronymus Bosch. He's painted a lot of different. Well, I think not a ton of paintings do we have by him. We don't even know. They say that if all of them were painted by him or by his family or whatever, or apprentices. But anyways, like a common theme in his paintings, like are these beak-like characters, these bird-like faces or whatever. Makes me think sort of like Eyes Wide Shut with the mansion, with those characters with the mask, and it just reminded me of Erroneous Bosch painting. I don't know, maybe not Garden of Earthly Delights. Maybe it has that in there. One of those kind of figures or characters that I thought they'd pick up on that. But I mean, just to digress just for a second, talking about painting. If you watch the movie Eight and a Half by Fellini, you get towards the end of the film, you'll see Marcello Mastroianni, who plays Guido Anselmi. He'll pass by three groups of three women while he's on his way to the press table of his talking about his film, and those three women, it looks like if you look really closely, and you can Google this probably, they look like it's an homage to three surrealist women holding the skins of an orchestra. I don't know if I have the exact title of that painting right by Salvador Dali, but that's what it looks like. I'm babbling. So, anyways, this disc also features 3 shorts by the director from the early '60s, which they're not too bad, I'd say. They're pretty interesting. And then there's a interview with a Czech scholar, a guy called Peter Hames. Interview with the actor Jaroslava Skulova. She plays Valerie, and she tells about how the filming was like. And Jan Lusak played the priest in the film, and they tell about how the production went and what they didn't like and what they did like and all that stuff. And then it's got an alternate 2007 psych folk soundtrack by the Valerie Project, and they've performed this film before live. It's without the dialogue in that particular soundtrack version, but it's pretty cool if you listen to it. And I was sort of reluctant to watch the film over again, because it was really interesting to listen to the music, and it wasn't a waste of time. I usually do that anyways, if I look at all the special features. I listen to the commentary. If there's a different soundtrack for the film, say a silent film, there's 2 different soundtracks, I'll listen to both of them, even if I don't want to, I guess, because I feel I'm a completist. I've got to see everything on the disc. To digress just for a second here, part of my heritage is Czech, my ancestors. So just to say that, because that this is where it's from, Czech Republic. But it was, at that time it was called Czechoslovakia, I believe. Shortly after this film was released, maybe a year or 2 or so, the Soviet Union, I believe, annexed the Czech Republic to the Soviet Empire. But there were films also released by the Czechs. I have a Criterion Eclipse box set called Pearls of the New Wave, about the Czech New Wave. I haven't watched that yet. I should. I tried starting up Daisies, but I didn't do it. Not because I didn't want to watch it. I don't know what I did. I just didn't watch it. But I think it's this has whetted my appetite for watching probably Daisies. Maybe I'll get Daisies into my queue of watching movies. So, but enough about that. So the other film that my friend let me borrow It's excuse me. Um, it's a comedy. Um, it's with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg, um, the other guys. And I watched this previously a few years back, but I think I watched the unrated version and it got stuck or something. So I work at the library, so I had the disc cleaned. This time I decided just to watch the regular theatrical version, um, and I'd say it's pretty funny. Um, yeah. So um, oh, I'm sorry, Valerie. I would give um, how many stars would I give this movie? 3.5. 3.5. Okay, so other guys, um, it's a comedy. You know, they start off with Dwayne Johnson and Samuel L. Jackson chasing these. Um, I don't know if they're bank robbers or whatever with machine guns, and but it's pretty funny. You know how they slam into Trump Tower and they go through a bus, and um, but then later on, well, shortly after that, they jump off a roof. Samuel L. Jackson and Dwayne Johnson characters, and they when they land, that's hilarious. It's also pretty hilarious when Samuel L. Jackson makes that comment 1-800. Um, you know, with a few swear words there. I'm not going to swear on here, but you know when he slams into the bus at the start of the film, and he says, "Did somebody call 1-800?" That's pretty funny too. But anyways, after their time is over with on the um, film starts to focus on these guys who are basically desk cops, and it shows how they come across some kind of um, plan, some kind of thing coming down, some kind of criminal enterprise happening, and how they're going to um, bust that. You know how they're going to solve that. It's a really funny movie. Um, I think more people laugh at it than I would, but it was funny. Um, I don't know if I was laughing every single second, but you know, it's pretty ridiculous in a good way. And yeah, so this is a good movie. 3 stars. So I got 2 more to go. Last night I watched Vanishing Point. This is a Blu-ray. I watched the special features. I haven't listened to the commentary yet. I'll probably listen to the commentary like I don't know about tonight, but because it's getting close to midnight. Um, but this is about a guy. He's traveling from Colorado, excuse me, Colorado to San Francisco in about like 3 or 2 days or something. He is speeding along the highway. He's being chased by the police, and he's sort of like the anti-hero. I don't know what year this came out. Let's see. It was the 70s. Oh, 1971. Yeah, okay, 1971. Um, there's a reference to this movie in a song called which song is it? It's from Use Your Illusion 2 by Guns N' Roses. It's Locomotive, I believe, is the song, and Axl Rose quotes Cleavon Little. Is that his name? Yeah, Cleavon Little, who plays Super Soul. he does the quote where there goes the Challenger, which is the right here, the car, the Dodge Challenger, being chased by two blue-green meanies on wheels. That's the cops. They're after a lone survivor, the last American hero. They're about to get him smashed, raped. The last American free soul on this planet. Thus, but it is written. Um, I've heard the song so much, so that's why I can know the quote. Um, if the eagle arms this tiger with claws, Brahmith provideth wings for the dove, something like that. Two nasty Nazi cars are against our lone driver. They're coming closer, closer. I'm quoting it out of context, but he's like is he a prophet? It's like not a prophet. The Cleveland Little characters like um, psychic or a harbinger or like the spiritual guide of the Kowalski character. You never find out his first name, but that's probably intentional. And he's got to deliver this car from Colorado to San Francisco, and the cops are after him. And I think the ending justifies the movie. I don't really. When I watch the special features, they're pretty interesting. How they talk about the music. That's one of the things they do. That's pretty interesting. They talk about the cult phenomenon of this movie. What I didn't really care for one of the special features was about the car itself, but I'm not a car person, so that's probably why it didn't really catch me. But I would say this movie. How many stars would I give this movie? I'd say 3.5. I mean, the character takes speed. There's a nude girl on a motorcycle. There's this like gospel scene in the desert. There's a scene with the rattlesnake. Um, you see some of the characters past. They used to be a cop. That he used to be a Vietnam vet. That he used to be a race car driver. So he has some. He's not a bad guy. He has some virtue to him. He's just not this badass guy who doesn't care about anything. He is human, and he is a person. He's trying to find validation, maybe metaphorically through being an anti-hero. But this is I'd recommend this film. This is a good movie. Okay, so that ends those. This the only other film I've seen. I saw it today, and that's why I purposely waited until late tonight, because I think if I had gotten up earlier, I would have watched this film earlier, or I would have done my review. Not my review, just what I've seen this week earlier today. But anyways, I saw this film again on Mubi, another film on Mubi. If you want to know what that website is, it's mubi.com. It's a Turkish film. They're doing a series right now. I tend to watch a movie and films on Mubi when they are just about to expire, usually on the day before or the day they're about to expire. And I live in the Eastern time zone, and they expire at midnight. But they expire at midnight. I mean, they expire here at 3 a.m. Mubi's location is located in the Pacific time zone, so it's 12 midnight there, but 3 a.m. here. So it expired today. It's a Cannes Palme d'Or winner. It's from Turkey. It's called Winter Sleep. It's about this guy. He's old. He has a young wife, and he runs a hotel in Turkey. And he's also a landlord, but he's having trouble with some of the tenants. And it moves at a very slow pace. There's music sprinkled in here and there, and it's basically piano music. I think it's a piece of classical music. And I think he's trying to find validation in his life, like purpose. You know, trying to justify who he is and where he is in his life, and um, what he does. You know, and they have these discussions about spirituality, materialism, um, the differences between those, the values you take from. Well, I'm an atheist, but like the values you can take from religion, and but not necessarily. Well, that's really me. Not necessarily believe in the religion. I don't know, but they touch on these various themes, and then the end has a great ending. It's close to the very, very end of the film, where one of the antagonists, who threatens the landlord at the start of the film, when the landlord's wife comes to see them, he does something awful to her. Not physical, but it's pretty awful. And yeah, so you have to like slow movies. It's a slow burn, but it's a really good movie. It's called Winter Sleep. So that's it. That finishes the films I've seen this week and a little before that. Um, I'm gonna try to come back next Saturday, release more. I mean, yeah, release another video onto YouTube as to what I've been watching, and I'm gonna try to get some more GarageBand videos on YouTube at hopefully some point soon. I gotta make some space on my computer, and I'm part of two GarageBand groups on Facebook. I'm trying to screen capture. I can screen capture my my GarageBand album songs, but can't get the sound, so I gotta get a third party extension for that. But anyways, and Winter Sleep I give 4 stars, by the way. So I'm not gonna bore you anymore. Well, I don't know if I bored you, but that's enough for tonight. Anyways, besides GarageBand videos, I'll try and be back next Saturday with the films I've seen. And I had some films to watch from Mubi that expire soon, so you'll probably see me here next Saturday. Um, yeah. So, all right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks a lot. Bye.